Howard Stern said the unvaccinated shouldn't be treated in hospitals. Do you agree or disagree, and why?
It depends on what Ya Rule thinks.
Will someone please find Ya Rule so I can make some sense of all this?
A patient with lung cancer or obesity or someone who is in an MVA is not contagious. I can pretty much guarantee that if there was a vaccine against obesity or lung cancer, people would be lined up to get it. My being overweight does not affect the people around me, and it's not causing other people to become overweight. If I could get a shot so that I wouldn't be overweight anymore, and avoid all the health-related risks that come with it, you bet your boots I'd be the first in line. 12-hour waits for an abscess or one-night hospital stays for a nephrectomy are ridiculous, but it is what we are dealing with because of the influx of patients who are there because they think they know better than literal experts in the field of health, virology, and immunology. You cannot learn more about a topic by Googling it and reading poo on Facebook than you can by listening to people who quite literally wrote the book on the topic. If you had two people who both need a liver, two 40-year-old men who happen to have the exact same tissue type and match. The first man is a 40-year-old married father, lives a healthy life, does his best to maintain his health, just happens to have the misfortune of being born with a bum liver. The second man is a 40-year-old alcoholic who has no interest in stopping drinking and who ruined his own liver through his own actions and decisions. You have to make a choice, which person gets that liver. Now subtract the word liver from the equation and replace it with hospital bed. Who gets that one hospital bed? If there are two people who need it and only one person can get it, do you give it to the responsible person who tried to take care of their health, or do you give it to the person who knowingly ruined it? That is the reality that we are facing right now, however unkind and cold it may seem. In a perfect world, there would be endless livers for everyone, and there would be endless hospital beds for everyone. The fact of the matter is, we are in a critical shortage right now. Vindictiveness does not come into play here. It's not that people want unvaccinated Americans to die a horrible death. It's basic triage on a global scale.
What does Howard Stern think? Said nobody ever.
Howard Stern literally makes a living off of people thinking. I wonder what Howard Stern thinks.
Damn it, you are right. I guess maybe I am technically correct because he always tells people, nobody is ever left wondering.
There's a more mature version of this question that me and some other medical students in my class are discussing that will address some of the responses you're getting. The issue is not just whether or not people who are unvaccinated deserve to be treated. The issue is we are now at the point where we are rationing very scarce resources. I'm of the opinion that not treating the unvaccinated who have severe COVID is more akin to not giving smokers access to a lung transplant over those with congenital conditions. You aren't punishing the smoker. You are allocating the resources in a way that accounts for epidemiological concerns. For the general public health, not just any individual. No, they shouldn't be mistreated because they made a bad decision. But when it comes to rationing, they absolutely should be bottom billing. Not because of the punishment factor, but because the survival of an anti-vaxxer over the survival of somebody who has a surgery postponed is a travesty. It just releases that person back into the world so they can infect others while punishing somebody else for not being more immediately sick, but still definitely sick. That's the key here. We are rationing. This is not a normal time.
I think that's the problem, is that people aren't seeing this as situation-based. There's a lot of very dichotomous thinking in this thread when the real-world situation isn't quite that simple. I agree with your comparison to transplant patients because it illustrates how the problem is resources. And you have to make choices about how to allocate those resources cause there aren't enough, full stop. I hope you're staying safe at this time. I can't imagine how stressful this time is for anyone in the medical field, especially students.
Pretty bizarre argument seeing as we don't make treatment exceptions for other poor choices that people make. Edit. Wow, this blew up. I did not mean for this to come across as an anti-vax comment at all, my point just being that it seems like a slippery slope denying people urgent treatment regardless of vaccination status, but I understand it's a nuanced issue and appreciate the input from Yal. Everyone please get vaccinated and let's keep each other safe.
Sure we do. Candidates for organ transplant that make poor life choices by doing things like smoking, having a poor diet, drinking etc. are given a lower priority for an organ because of those choices. While they aren't outright denied an organ, their lower priority coupled with the high demand for organs means that they're effectively denied in most cases.
The angry, vindictive part of me agrees. The compassionate part of me thinks that, Okay, so they shouldn't be denied treatment, but they should be lower priority than other emergency cases.
Questions like this bother me. I see the point you are making, but lumping all unvaccinated people together is a dangerous way to go. Denying treatment because of vaccinated status is a slippery slope. People and corporations being what they are, it would give them an excuse for denying other sorts of medical care to those deemed unworthy for whatever reason they come up with. We don't deny smokers treatment for lung problems, for instance, or someone who got a metal shard in their eye when not wearing safety glasses, or someone who got in an accident because they were speeding. My doctor didn't deny me a pain shot today because the reason my spinal arthritis flared was me doing something I shouldn't have and knew better than to do. Making a blanket statement of that sort also means that people who are unvaccinated for reasons other than stubbornness may not be able to receive needed care. I would hate to think my 76-year-old mother would be turned away because she hasn't had the vaccine. She cannot be vaccinated due to prior adverse reactions. Does she deserve to be denied access to care? No, but saying all unvaccinated people don't deserve care could cause her not to get help. Making a blanket statement like that would mean she would be grouped in with someone who thinks the vaccine is a government plot to control our minds. It is far better to treat everyone promptly, even if they are idiots. Edit honestly, people. Some people are a bit over the top. Stop insulting me and sending me rude messages. Wishing I would die because we have different points of view on an admittedly very complex problem is a bit beyond the pale. First, I never said transplants, I said treatment. You break your lungs or liver because you are stupid, you shouldn't get a new one, but if you get emphysema, you should still be treated for that. I doubt most reasonable people think we should let addicts die when Narcan might save them, even if we think they shouldn't have started the DG that got them addicted. Don't attack me for that either. Addicts' lives have value, too, even if the DG have made them forget that, and we shouldn't let them die for a bad decision, which was exactly my point about vaccination. I think everyone who can should be vaccinated. I think, however, mandates just get people wound up to a point where they will refuse just because they don't want to be told what to do, and that's the hill they choose to die on, either literally or figuratively. I realize hospitals are overflowing and doctors are making heart-rending decisions. I just don't think that this is the way to fix it. My cousin is a doctor and this pandemic has nearly broken her, but she still treats people who make dangerous decisions that harm others, because that's what doctors do. My point was that vaccination status as a sole reason to refuse treatment is not a viable option in my opinion. There are too many variables. Even if it disagrees with your opinion, that doesn't give you the right to attack me. Civil conversation means each side tries to understand where the other is coming from in an effort to reach an accord. We can disagree without it coming down to the adult equivalent of, I know you are, but what am I? Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.